Hello out there. So after a long time, a new video. I got my new car. I stayed loyal to Hyundai and got the Ioniq 5, the limited model, so that's the top of the line model here in the US. And I wanted to talk a little bit about things that I like and that I don't like. So welcome to this video. 16 things I like and I don't like about the Ioniq 5. So let's start with the bad things, the things that I don't like about the Ioniq 5. So first of all, this is very interesting because in all the reviews you always see people talking about the vehicle to load adapter that you can use to plug in appliances into the car. Well, the car doesn't come with it. It's an accessory that you have to buy after the fact, and it costs $600. The only upside is the limited trim. This one here, the top of the line one in the US, has basically the adapter built in. So in the back row, underneath the back row seats, there is, in the car, there is basically that adapter built into the car. So you don't actually need the one outside. However, for all the other trims, that's the case, and you have to pay $600 for it. The second thing I don't like is that the iPedal turns off when you turn the car into, or you shift into reverse. So whenever you go out of drive and you are in iPedal mode, it will switch back to level 3 regenerative braking. So then when you go forward again, you have to switch iPedal back on. Also, when you turn the car off and you turn it on the next time, it forgets about that you used iPedal and you have to put it back into iPedal mode. Doesn't matter if you're not using that mode, but I really love it because it's the only mode where you can do full one pedal driving. So which I like and I use. So for me it's an annoyance. The third thing that I don't like is the navigation software. It just feels like it's 20 years old. It's the same look and feel as if, like software that's been made in the 2000s. The software does not have anything EV specific built into it. It's like literally a one-to-one copy from gas cars. Even the charging planning, there is no charge planning built into it. If you go somewhere, yes, it will warn you that you don't have enough charge to go or reach that place. I assume that's probably the exact same thing that it does on ICE cars. And it will remind you that you have to charge, and there's a button you can push to search for charge stations. However, that's just a POI search that is equal to everything that I've seen in ICE car navigation systems, and that's really annoying. The fourth thing that I don't like is when you use Android Auto, it doesn't project the turn navigations into the heads-up display. I actually didn't know that that's possible, but when I returned my 2019 Kona, I drove my wife's Honda Fit, and it actually does that. It doesn't have a heads-up display, but it projects the turn-by-turn navigations, so turn left and then 500, 400, 300 feet. It displays only this part in the instrument cluster right in front of you. So apparently there's a way to do that with Android Auto, and it would be awesome if that would be projected right into the heads-up display, but it doesn't. So the fifth thing that I don't really like is when it's dark. Even though the car has the mood lighting with the door handles and the speakers, in the middle console area here, it is very dark. You can't see stuff that you have here in the middle console. I've seen and I've driven BMWs in the past, and they had like right up here like a very small LED that would just illuminate the middle area just a little bit so that you can actually see what's in here. That would be really nice, and of course it would be nice if it would have the same color as the mood lighting, that you can change actually the color. Next thing that I don't really like is the My Hyundai app. It is really slow, and it's very clunky. You have to kind of look for all the things that you want to do. It's separated into sections, which is kind of nice, but it's very unintuitive. And one thing is really funny, in the app it says, yeah, you can use valet mode. You have to either activate it in the car or in the app. Well, that is actually not true. Even so it says that you can activate it in the app, you can't. So you have to activate it in the car when you leave the car, and then you can deactivate it in the app. But if you forgot to do that, well, I guess it's not really a big issue. It's usually not, but it's just a thing that I came across. The seventh thing that I don't like is if you don't do scheduled charging in the car, and for some reason you start charging, you plug it in, you start charging, and then you stop the charging manually through the app, which works great, the car will randomly just start charging again. So if you stop the charging, you actually have to unplug, otherwise it might just start again, and that's just randomly. And one thing that I really don't like, which the Kona had and the Ioniq 5 doesn't have, even though it has the whole fancy HDA Highway Drive Assist 2 and everything, it doesn't do stop and go. So the cruise control, if you're in cruise control and you come to a stop, it stops behind another car just by itself, all working really, really good. But once the car in front of you goes again, the car just doesn't do anything. It will remind you in the instrument cluster that, oh, your leading vehicle is driving away, but it wouldn't go. The Kona actually did that. The Hyundai doesn't. I know that was limited to like 3 to 5 seconds, so if it was longer than that, the Kona wouldn't do it either, but this one doesn't do it, period. So those are the things that I really don't like about the Ioniq 5. Now let's go on to the things that I really love about the Ioniq 5. Since I drove the Kona before, the Kona didn't have one-pedal driving. The Ioniq 5 does, and I love it. I use it all the time. Full one-pedal driving. I barely ever touch the brakes unless you have to switch gears, because if you go into reverse, you have to push the brake pedal, and then for backing up, it doesn't do one-pedal driving, so it only works in forward drive. But for like 95% of driving, I use iPedal, and I have full one-pedal driving. I love it. The second thing, it's super quiet. It's a lot quieter than the Kona was, and I personally loved the Kona already because it was quiet. Obviously, if you are used to EVs and you drove EVs before, a lot of people say the Kona isn't that quiet, but I thought it was very quiet. The Ioniq 5 is even quieter. And after I drove through the car wash the other day, I actually saw that in some of the panel gaps, there's actually some foamy material in there. I'm pretty sure that's part of why it's even quieter, even though it doesn't have EV specific tires. The tires are just normal Michelin tires. I don't know which ones exactly, but they're not EV specific. Next thing I really love about the Ioniq 5 is the design. I think they did a really nice job. I was born in the 70s. I'm an 80s kid. I was a computer geek, or I am a computer geek, and I love the 80s computer digit design of the car. It's a very basic design, not cluttered, even though there's lots of buttons still, like on the steering wheel and here in the door, but they all have their purpose. So I think it's a great mixture between simple design and functionality. So 3 thumbs up for that. I love the smart cruise control, the lane following assist, all the safety functions in this car are amazing. They're even better than they were in the Kona. They work more consistent. I just love all these things. Driving on the highway, I have 1150 miles on the car now, and I've had it for I think about 4 weeks. So we did a few longer trips in the car, and driving on the highway is the most relaxing thing ever. If there was massage seats in here, I don't think I think I would fall asleep in the thing. No, I'm kidding, but it's just amazing. The car basically drives itself. On highways, it's really good, and that brings me to my next point. When you do the highway drive assist, you have to keep a hand on the steering wheel. Same thing as in the Kona was, but in the Kona you actually had to kind of wiggle the wheel to let the car know that you're not sleeping. Somehow they made it even better. I have to literally I like to just have one hand, mostly my left hand, on the wheel, just resting it there, and that seems to be pretty much enough for the car to realize I'm here and I'm paying attention. I don't really have to wiggle the wheel. It's definitely not a capacitive thing, but I think just the torque sensor is more refined and more sensitive than it was in the Kona. So really love that. Next thing I really think is great is the heads-up display. So sitting in the car right now, I see it right in front of me. It's literally from this distance, about a thumb underneath where you look onto the road. So you have the information right in your field of view. In the Kona it was a lot lower because you had this plastic thing coming up where it was reflecting in, and that's gone now. It's on the windshield, and it's literally right just like a smidge underneath where you look, and you look down, you have all those numbers that you need down there. You basically don't need anything else, and just looking at the heads-up display you still have everything else in your view. I love it. Huge display, really nice. Also, one thing, because it was lower in the Kona, it used to kind of be right on the hood, so sometimes when the lighting was kind of funny, it was hard to read because it would reflect and be right on the edge where the hood is and the road. Obviously that's not an issue anymore since it's higher up, right in the field of view. So perfect thing on that heads-up display. Love it. I really love the mood lighting in this car. I love the accents. I love that you know where to grab and see where you can in the dark. That is really nice. Like I said earlier, I just wish there was a little bit more mood lighting here in the middle, so you could actually see what's in your middle console here. And then, even though I don't really like my Hyundai app, the last and eighth thing that I really love is the remote start of the My Hyundai app. Why? Because you can use the home screen widget, and in order to use that you don't have to go into the app. So basically, right on my home screen I have the start button. You go on that, you tap the start, it pops up, you just tap the fingerprint sensor and it starts the car. And it's using the default profile that you set in the app, which obviously in the winter you set to warm the car, in the summer you set it to that it's cooling down the car. You don't have to do anything else. It's literally 2 taps. It doesn't start the app, it just does it immediately. It takes literally 30 seconds and the car responds and turns on the cooling or heating, whichever you have it set to. So that is amazing. So there you go. Those are the 16 things that I love and hate about the Ioniq 5. Just to be clear, I love the car. It's definitely the best car ever. I love this big sunroof, I guess. A little bit disappointed that you can't open it at all, because especially in the summer with in the Kona, I used to crack it open a little bit and have some natural airflow going through, so you didn't have to turn on AC or anything, just a natural draft, which would save quite some energy, and I can't do that anymore. So I guess that's another point that I'm missing. But then I have this beautiful roof. It gives additional light inside here, makes it a very open, very beautiful car. So I guess that's a point on both sides. Well, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit subscribe below, like the video, give me a thumbs up, and please let me know any questions that you have about the car. I'm more than happy to help you out and answer any questions. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day and see you next time. I have the Ioniq 5 now, so I stayed loyal. The navigation software. The software just looks and feels like it's made but it's a good mix between the very